Thank you, IUS, for giving me the opportunity to share my experience and knowledge with other people. So today my talk is blunt trauma with no view of the fundus. One second, some problem.
Sir, please use your arrow, sir. Please click on the center and please use the arrow. Click the center, please.
So today we are going to discuss about blunt trauma with no view. So in this next 8 minutes, we will talk about the terminology, causes of no view, and no view can lead to commercial-retinal, choroidal rupture, retinal tear, retinal detachment, and the macular bone. So before going into the blunt trauma no view, we'll just talk about some terminology of the trauma, blunt trauma. That is, we will take cornea and sclera as the eyeball. Will not include choroid and the retina. The second one is closed globe injury means no full thickness wound in the eyeball. And open globe injury is full thickness wound in the eyeball. That means lamellar separation will take as closed globe injury. Rupture is by the blunt object in which there is an inside out injury due to the higher. Laceration is the sharp object injury in which the motor injury is outside in. The laceration is two types. One is penetrating and the other one is perforating. In penetrating, only entry wound is there, and in perforating, entry exit both wounds are there. So my topic is blunt trauma no view of technology. We are going towards causes. There are two causes because of which we cannot see fundus. One is hyphema, the second one is critical hemorrhage. Now we have to take, if the patient is coming with blunt trauma and hyphema is there, we have to take a proper history. We have to ask whether it was a blunt trauma or the sharp trauma, whether severity of it is like a poke or severe blow to head. If severe blow to head, we have to talk to the neurosurgeon also. After our information, we have to.
Sorry, sir, I interrupt you, sir. Please speak some loudly, sir. Your audio not good, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we have to take serious medical history also, just like bleeding or if patient is taking any treatment drug. So the secondary hemorrhage will occur after 24 to 48 hours. Now we will take patient for the second examination. We have to find out the reason of the hyphema, which is
Pratul, your audio is not clear. Can you use a speaker or an earphone if you have along?
Can you listen?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Yes.
Now it's clear.
Okay. So the reason of the hyphema is rupture of the iris and the ciliary body, and we have to note down the size and the appearance of the hyphema. It can be only few RBCs in the antechamber, or it is the antechamber is full of the blood. The blood can be red color or it can be a black color. The red color means the oxygen flow is good in the antechamber, and the black color means the oxygen flow is bad. One second. Now the management of the hyphema is, first is medical management, the other one is the surgical management. In the medical management, because the patient has gone trauma, it's a very gray area, but better is to advise the bed rest with head end elevated. It should be more than 30 degrees. So with the help of the gravity, the blood will go down and the pupillary axis will clear. The second one, we will advise cycloplegic, most commonly 1% atropine daily for the relaxation and the decrease of the inflammation of the iris and the ciliary body. For the same reason, we will advise 1% prednisolone 4 times a day. We can advise 0.5 to 1 milligram per kilogram oral Visalone also. We have to daily examine the patient for the next 5 to 7 days for the IOP, vision and the cornea. If the IOP is uncontrolled, if the vision is decreasing, or if the corneal blood staining is there, we have to take the patient for the surgery. Now the indications of the surgical evacuation of the antechamber is IOP more than 60 for 2 days despite medical treatment. That means if there is no medical treatment, first of all, we have to decrease the IOP with the medical treatment, then we have to go for the surgical management. The second is total hyphema more than 5 days with IOP 25. The third one is corneal blood staining, and the fourth one is persistent hyphema more than half of the AC more than 7 to 10 days. The second cause is the vitreous hemorrhage. It is because of the damage of the blood vessel in the ciliary body, choroid or the retina. The fundus examination in every case with the vitreous hemorrhage should be done at the first visit, because later the hemorrhage can disperse and we will not able to see the fundus on the later on. And the second reason is it can cause, later it can lead to the rebleeding also. This vitreous hemorrhage can be associated with the retinal tear or the retinal dialysis, and we have to do the indirect ophthalmoscopy, proper indirect ophthalmoscopy with the indentation if no occult globe rupture is there. Now, most important role of ultrasonography is here, that we can find out in the case of vitreous hemorrhage whether the retinal detachment, choroidal detachment, posterior vitreous detachment or occult scleral rupture is present or not. If no, then we will wait for 3 to 4 months. If yes, then we will go for the surgical treatment as soon as possible. Now, what can we see after the evacuation of the blood from the vitreous? We can find out the retinal detachment. In this case, the retinal detachment was there. The occult rupture was there on the medial side. This is the left. This is the right eye. Occult rupture was there in the medial side. First of all, we have suture the occult rupture. Then later on, after the 5 days, we have done the lensectomy and the RD surgery. The retina is on in this case. The second one is the retinal break and the dialysis. It's very easy to understand. You can take this as an eyeball. If there is a blunt trauma, there is pressure on the eye and anterior-posterior compression is there, which is causing the compression, which is causing equatorial expansion. This equatorial expansion is causing the traction on the vitreous base and opposite side. So the tear can be there at the vitreous base or the opposite side. So in every case in which blunt trauma is there, we have to look for the HST and the dialysis. And if they are present, we have to go for the retinal laser and cryopexy. The next one is the Berlin's edema. In this photograph, you can see Berlin's edema. This is white Berlin's edema. This is macular hole, and this is choroidal rupture. The next is macular hole. It is because of the equatorial expansion and sudden expansion of the posterior pole caused the macular hole. We have to wait for 2 to 3 months. If persists, we have to go for the macular hole surgery. The next one is the choroidal rupture. It can be direct choroidal rupture or indirect. Direct is near the aura and indirect is at the posterior pole. And we have to look for the NVE formation, CNVM formation. The last one is the occult scleral rupture. We can find out the occult scleral rupture with the help of the ultrasonography. And you can see here in this, vitreous is going towards the one direction, and here occult scleral rupture was there. So the take home message is always take a proper history in all the cases of blunt trauma, rule out any open globe injury with the examination, and ultrasonography is the key investigation here. In any problem, take the VR surgeon help.